final part of the evening, and I'd like to welcome on stage Chair of the FWA, John Cross.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My word, I must say, Mark and Leah have set a very, very high bar, so I can't really begin to compete with that. But you have seen some wonderful tributes tonight as well, video tributes, which has been great to see for our recipient, who I must say has been wonderful company this evening, and also the most outstanding candidate and recipient for the Football Writers Association Tribute Award I can possibly imagine. She's absolutely wonderful. And I must say, some of the tributes that we see tonight is a real mark of the esteem in which she is held. It's funny, actually, when we saw Sarina at St George's Park last week, she described herself as a calm leader. That, of course, I think is her own perfect description of her own characteristics. But I have to say, she has succeeded in getting a whole nation very excited in the past 5 years. When she took over as Lionesses manager in 2021, we knew we were getting a class act and that it was a stellar appointment. But I'm still not sure that anyone could have envisaged it going quite this well. Back-to-back winners in the Euros and a World Cup final, open-top bus parades, and being made an honorary dame. Sorry to my Dutch friends in the room, but we've adopted her as one of our own. We're also lucky tonight and very happy to have so many football writers here who have covered Sarina's journey with the England team. Now, the first thing that Sarina always says is that it's about the team. It's about her team. It's about the coaches. It's about the players. The Football Association is not just about her. I think it is that humble approach that resonates so clearly and says so much about her. But we should also acknowledge that through England's success comes unprecedented interest in the women's game. More coverage, players inspiring the next generation, and more journalists being asked and employed to cover the Lionesses. For that alone, the FWA should be very, very grateful. From my personal point of view, I've been so lucky to cover so many England teams, so many tournaments down the years. Near misses, unforgettable moments, wouldn't swap them. But I can honestly say the Euros in 2022, culminating in that glorious day at Wembley, was the best thing that I have ever covered as a football writer. To see England winning a major tournament at Wembley, for me, was just incredible. Something that I began to think would never happen. So on that level, I'm so grateful. But I will also remember many milestones along the road in covering that tournament. I think the Lionesses beating Norway, I know at Brighton's Amex Stadium. I'm not sure I've enjoyed many better atmospheres, crowds and nights better than that. It was phenomenal, unforgettable, the atmosphere, the buy-in from the crowds, the family atmosphere. It was a beautiful night, it really was. I think it was the day also that I felt it was the night that everything came together. And I really thought at that time, this can change everything. And it did. It has, in my view, inspired a whole generation and changed the future of the game. Since then, we've had another Euro success, one in such a different way, which only goes to underline, I think, the quality and resilience of a truly great manager and indeed squad. Now look, just before I introduce our guest of honour tonight, I must also thank our wonderful family of sponsors. Lyle and Scott, football manager, Join In Live, Sky Sports. Without them and their incredible support and backing, nights like these do not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I wonder whether I can please invite to the stage Sarina Wiegman. Yes, of course. And I'm delighted that Jo Currie, who has followed every step of the journey, has joined us on stage. I've seen her at every turn. Has joined us on stage to do a Q&A here. Thank you.
Well, first of all, on behalf of two women who don't wear heels very often, we're very grateful for the chairs, so thank you. Your
Thanks for arranging this.
Your dameship, I think we can call you that now. The first question I want to say to you, for once, it's not team news. It's about the fact that I've been interviewing you for 5 years, and as John touched on there, whenever you're asked about the input you have into your success as a coach, you always talk about the team. So for you tonight to be stood here and hear all these speeches, these tributes about you, how are you feeling?
Very uncomfortable. It's really nice. It's very special. Thank you all for being here. For me, for a nice dinner. So I hope you're enjoying it. But of course, the words and the videos is absolutely amazing. I'm very, very honored, privileged. Feel grateful to be here. So thank you.
We deserve all of the tributes tonight. Let's talk about something you're a bit more comfortable with, and that's the football. Let's take you back to the Euros this summer, and there's one moment in particular that really stands in my mind, and that is the quarter-final. It's 78 minutes, England are 2-0 down. You manage to pull it back, you get to extra time, you then win possibly the worst penalty shootout any of us have ever had to cover, and you're through to the semi-finals. And your wonderful press officer, David, comes out and says, Jo, Sarina will be out in just a moment. She's gone to the changing room to decompress, which I've never known you have to do. And then you came out, and I think you were lost for words, and it's the first time I've ever seen you like that. What was going through your mind at that point?
I don't remember. I just thought when we had this penalties, and we were just missing. And
They were bad.
We were really bad. And normally we're pretty good at that with the team, and we're very convicted that we can win it. So during the penalty shootout, I said to Arne, "What the f*** are we doing?" Don't tell to anyone, because we're so much better than this. But then they started missing too, and then we won it, and then so that I needed to calm down a little bit and decompress. So sorry about the words.
You're allowed tonight. Where did the stool come from?
They come from the meeting room.
You stole it.
Well, I think we used that stool the day after. So after the France game, we had the technical staff meeting, and we said we have to do something different. So we were thinking and talking, and then we figured out what to do. Well, Leah said something about that, so we don't share secrets, but a little bit. And then I thought that was before the Sweden game, I thought, okay, I'll bring that chair, because I was really proud of the team, how we did that. So they had to smile because I was going to stand on the stool when they were scared that I would fall off, but I'm still pretty, motorically I'm still okay, I think. Not sure if the players think so, but so then she said that was a great speech. But we're 2-0 down after 30 minutes. So, well, when we have these speeches and we're 2-0 down, I don't think it has the effect that I wanted it to have. So, but at least we had a little bit of fun.
We go on to the semi-final, which I think was as stressful as the quarter-final. You need a goal going into extra time. You managed to score 2. At what point in the tournament do you start to realise that this team are just going to keep on going?
Well, you never know. So after the France game, when we had that meeting, we had some good conversations, and of course it's tricky, but then you could feel straight away that the team and the players after that, they really took it on board, and you could tell and feel straight away that without that being visible for us as a staff, they're really making a change, and that felt really good. And then we had the Netherlands game, which was before the game, that was very heavy, I think. Then we played so well, and you felt already this is really good. And then when we won Sweden this way, I knew we were better than Italy. We thought they shouldn't score the first goal, because then Italy is really hard. But we just you keep having the trust and confidence and belief that we can change it, because everyone was in such good form, whether you were a starter or not a starter. So you don't know if you're going to win the tournament, but at every moment I felt we could turn it around.
Am I allowed to ask you about the wash bag?
The wash bag, then we're going to cost a little bit more. Yeah, you are allowed.
Am I allowed to ask? So apparently Sarina, at some point in the tournament, whipped out a wash bag that had a very strong message on it. Do you want to say what it was?
Yeah, well, I bought that wash bag in April because I thought we might have to use it before one game, so I had to wait till the right moment for the wash bag. But it said, "Bitches get shit done." Yeah, I found it on the internet. It was really funny. Sally ordered some. It was really funny. So I thought we need to find a moment where you can use it. You know, there's so much tension all the time, and it's all so serious. And sometimes you just need to put a little bit of humor.
Sometimes you just need to get it done.
Yeah, and that was the case. We needed to get shit done. So this was before the Italy game, so it didn't work very well either until the 97 minutes. So these final meetings are not really successful.
Obviously, you then go into the final. You win it on a penalty shootout. At what point did you know you were going to win it?
At the point we went through the extra time. No, you don't know that, but you believe that you come in. Of course, you don't know it, but you could tell that Spain wanted to force a goal, and we kept the score. And I knew we were better in penalty shootouts, and I knew they were disappointed. Well, I was convicted they were, because again, you don't really know. You're convicted that, and so I said, we are better than they are, and they're disappointed. And what was really good again from the team that we learned from the Sweden game. So you couldn't think, okay, now we didn't do well, and I'm scared for the second time. But Alex was totally convicted to take a penalty, and Chloe said afterwards, I'm not going to miss twice. So of course, the second time I was shoot it, I've never missed twice, so this is going to be all right. That was the conviction in the team. It's really special to be part of.
You obviously win, you lift the trophy, you celebrate out in Switzerland, you come back and celebrate with your bestie burner boy. At some point you get home to the Netherlands. How long does it take you to switch off? How do you switch off from football?
Well, we had a party prepared because Martin and I had our 25 years. That's my husband, Martin. We've been married for 25 years. That's top sport too, I think. But no, it's not. Sorry. But we were preparing for that little party, and we just switched up. Going home, just simple things like walking the dog, have a nice coffee, relax.
Got a dog?
We have a dog.
What have you got?
Well, it's a long story, but it's a big dog.
Okay.
But so just not having to do, not looking at the clock, not thinking of when's the meeting, how are we going to prepare, just relax a little bit.
Behind every great manager, there is always a great support system. You talk about your family a lot. How important have they been along the journey?
Well, they're the fundament, I would say. So if things go well at home, and if things go well with the daughters, then I'm happy too, and then things will go. But if that's not the case, then it becomes really, really hard.
One of the things that has happened since you came back from the Euros is that you've been given a damehood. Did you get a phone call? Did you get a letter? How did that work?
No, I got a phone call, which was very special. Yeah, that was really special, from the English ambassador in the Netherlands, Chris Rampling. And it was a very nice phone call, and I know it's huge, the damehood, and I was just really overwhelmed and flabbergasted. But I would never ever have thought. Coming to England, you hope things go well and that we're successful, but the whole journey, you couldn't even dream of it. So it's been so lovely, and then, I've felt so welcomed here over all these years.
Have you asked people to start calling you the Dame yet?
No, I asked them to bow.
Your Majesty.
But only once. I've seen some good ones. So, but no.
You talk about finding a home here. You found a home at the FA as well, haven't you? And I know there are a lot of maybe unsung heroes here tonight, but how have they supported you over the years?
Well, it started, of course, with so Kay Cossington's here too. So she had made the first phone call, I thought we'd talk about the calendar and stuff, and he said, well, maybe you're interested in the job. And then, of course, things went, so Mark already spoke a little bit about that, but I think the support I've had from the FA, for Mark, first of all, appointing me, but then, this, like, one example, we go into the tournament before the summer, and of course, you ask, well, if it's not going to be successful, Sarina's still the coach here or not, and you just, boom, whatever happens, you'll still be the coach. That's absolute support, which makes it easy because you stop asking the questions, and we can just do our job. It's really helpful, but I think it's even more important, before the Euros in 2022, there was some, like, at home, my sister was really, really sick. That was very, very hard. And I got so much support from Mark and from the staff, of course. And that says a lot about football, so important. But the support in those situations, when life is just hard, is very helpful.
It's incredible.
And I'm grateful for that.
Well, we're all very grateful for you as well. It's incredible to think that you won your first major trophy back in 2017. Obviously, since then, it's been 5 major finals, 3 major trophies. I know the glasses have changed along the way, but how have you changed as a manager, do you think, in these 8-9 years?
Well, first of all, of course, you have a lot more experience. My English has become better. You learn a lot about football because when playing tournaments, you have all these experiences where you recognize situations a lot quicker. Of course, you get more life experience, so you get older yourselves. And of course, I get to know the players even better, which makes sometimes decisions even harder because you know them even better. But all these things together, and staff, of course, too, that when you know each other so well and you know the processes and you have consistency in who you work with, and that really helps. So I have adapted, I think. You don't change that. My values don't change, but you do adapt to the world around you and the situations like World Cup, Euros, home, Switzerland, things like that.
You touched on hard decisions there. It's very obvious from the way that you speak about your players that you care about them an awful lot. Hearing Leah read some of the tributes out from the players, they obviously care about you a lot. There's a lot of love in this dressing room, but as a manager, you do have to make hard decisions sometimes. How do you manage the emotions of having to do that?
Yeah, well, when you have to make these hard decisions, of course, we're watching games every week. We're really well prepared, so we don't make decisions overnight. It's just we think about it, we speak about it every week. So we're convinced, or I'm convinced, that I make the right decision for that moment. But you just have to get the message across. So I am calm then, but of course you have to switch to, like, if it's a bad message, this is the message. Not a very long conversation because the player, the human being in front of you, is not going to hear that very much. So later on you have a longer conversation about these things. So there's a strategy around that, but you have to do it. And you can't be that emotional because that player is going to be emotional when it's a bad decision. So you better be calm and keep it as short and simple as possible.
I think it was Emma Hayes who once said it's really tough getting a team to the top. It's even tougher keeping a team at the top. You have to find inspiration for the players and the energy. For someone who's achieved so much, who could retire tomorrow and your legacy is already completely solid, how do you keep going? How do you keep finding the desire to win?
Well, I just love my job, and I love working with people, and I work with the most ambitious people that I can imagine. So I'm very grateful in the job. And you just set new goals all the time. So, of course, we make the World Cup final. With the Netherlands, we make the World Cup final. So, as I said, with unfinished business. And I know making finals is really special and very hard. So that's I don't take that for granted. No one doesn't. So I thought for these Euros as well, it's going to be so hard. You know, the chance that we're going to make the final again and win it is this small. But I actually don't care how big the chance is. We just go for it and see how far we get. So that's one. And then bring it back, stay away from the result and think, okay, how can I develop myself to the next level? How can I connect even better with players, together with staff? And trying to figure out, okay, how in the best possible way can we do that? And of course, there's all the football tactics and the programming and the periodization. But these two things are the most important, connecting with players and become better myself.
We talk about winning the World Cup. Obviously, the first step is qualifying.
Yeah.
First qualifiers start very soon. Are you ready?
Well, we don't have to be ready. It's 4 weeks before we go into camp, but we're getting ready. So, of course, we can watch a lot of games. We're preparing for the games. It's going to be a new type of window. So starting on Tuesday, going to the next Saturday. So we have thought about that, how we want to do that. So I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully Leah gets fit soon. And the other ones too that are coming back from injuries and start performing. So we have hard decisions to make for the squad. But I'm really looking forward to it. We haven't seen them for a while.
Final question for me, and it's one I suspect you're going to be asked a lot over the next couple of years. But if we get to Brazil and you win it, and you finally get that World Cup winners' medal, and it completes the set, what would that mean to you as a person, as a coach?
Yeah, that's actually a hard question. We just really want to win it, but if I think like it's you play to win. But I think if we're going to win that, well, first qualify, as you said, but if we would win that, because I think it's going to be the hardest tournament we can imagine, like in another continent, every country is improving so much. So if we can win that, that means that we're the best prepared, we're the best bonded team, and we play really to our super strengths. And that's what gives me the fulfillment, because that says everything about what we've done together and how we've got there and how we were able to win it. And then the prize comes with it. But that's what's underneath, that would make me extremely happy.
I think it'd make us all extremely happy, to be honest. But you've taken us on a wonderful journey over the last 5 years. And on behalf of all the journalists who've been lucky enough to work with you over that time, I just want to say thank you very much. Because you've always treated us with respect, and you've always brought a lot of humour to the role, and you make our jobs a lot easier. So thank you very much, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. Thank you.